Greetings, students. Welcome to English 262 at Post University. My name is Jackie Pierce. I am your instructor for this term, and I was also thrilled to be a part of the design of this particular course. So, this one is near and dear to my heart. One of the things that I always like to do is share tips and tricks and suggestions with students at the beginning of each week so that you always feel like you know what you're supposed to do during that week. So I'm going to share my screen instead of my face, and we're going to take a look at a couple of things over the course of today. So let me get those open. And the first thing I want to talk about is just how to navigate through the course. So, as many of you know, because most of you will have had quite a few online classes with Post so far, you will always be directed to the announcements page initially. And I do try to post quite a few announcements, especially if things haven't something's gone wrong or people have had the same question. I've had a couple of different emails with the same question, that kind of thing. So check your announcements often, which of course also means checking your post student email fairly regularly. Whenever I post an announcement, it will also go to your email. So it's a good idea to keep an eye on those things throughout the course. Then, of course, you have over on the left hand side, you have a link below the announcements to the course information. This is a really helpful page. My brain is functioning sort of today. It's a Monday, so what do you expect, right? Um, this teaches you how to get into your electronic book for the course. You've got suggestion that you always use either Firefox or Chrome. I have switched completely to Chrome, and I don't have a lot of technical issues, so I'm a big believer in that. You also have a link here to tech support, as well as how to navigate your ebook and the policy surrounding electronic course materials. Below that, you have the essentially the syllabus. You've got a link to a paper syllabus, a PDF syllabus, but this particular about the course really kind of walks you through everything that you would normally want to know on a syllabus, including how the grades are broken down and all of that good stuff. Also on this page, library resources. We will be doing research papers and research projects. So you will be using the Post Library. So this is a good place to return if you need a refresher. And then discussion board criteria, course assignments and projects. It's got a breakdown of all of the formal writing assignments. You've got a link to the Ask the Instructor discussion board. You can also, of course, just click on discussions. We'll be back up at that navigation point in a second. But this is a great place for resources. So if you get in the habit of using this page, it's right there. There's also a water cooler discussion board in each of your classes. I don't necessarily, it's definitely not graded, and I may or may not see something quickly, but if you have a question, I get a separate email that says there's been a question posted on Ask the Instructor. So feel free to use that anytime throughout the course. Scrolling back up, the next link, of course, is to meet your instructor, which is me. Uh, you have several ways to contact me. Honestly, email is just as fast, if not faster, than anything else. I do ask that you use your post student email address to email me. You do have access to my phone number. This is the number if you need to text me pretty much any time unless it's during office hours. And then during office hours, which are listed here, you can call or text via the Fuse app. And that is the phone number right there for Fuse. During my office hours, if we need to get together in an electronic room so that we can look at something specific, over on the left hand margin, you'll notice there is a link called Collaborate. If you've never used that, it's like an internal um, room system, very much like Zoom, but Blackboard calls theirs Collaborate. And we can always hop in there. But rather than sit there in the Collaborate room by myself during office hours in case people don't have questions, I normally just I keep my Fuse open. So if you call or text that number, I will always respond immediately during office hours. Okay, then of course you go through the units in the order that they're there. And then, of course, you have the link to the discussion. Below is where you check your grades. I will I will mention something very important to student success, and that is when you do receive a grade on an assignment, make sure you click on the grade and actually check out the feedback, including looking at any rubrics, how the grade was determined, that sort of thing. But I do tend to give a lot of feedback. And of course, it's designed at helping you get better on the next assignment and things of that nature. So always make sure you check your feedback, even if you get a perfect score. Sometimes there will be things that, oh, I didn't take off for it, but this is something you can improve on the next paper, whatever the case may be. So keep an eye on those grades. All right, so let's take a look at Unit 1. And just like most courses at Post, you can only go to Unit 2 once you finish Unit 1. It's a time release thing. Um, but you can always look a little bit ahead by choosing the syllabus link under the course information. That'll give you kind of the overview of where things occur, if that helps you. I know sometimes it helps me to get the big picture and not just focus on 1 week at a time. So you are in multicultural voices in literature, and that's exactly what we're going to be looking at. Our main objectives are to discuss the importance of literature and how it represents various cultures and the human experience, and define key terms related to multiculturalism and the study of literature. So, activities for Unit 1, you're going to review the course information page. We kind of just did that, but you want to do it yourself. Download or save the course syllabus. If you do better with print, and I do, I like to have things in paper form, feel free to print that out. You'll also want to feel free to print out those assignment sheets and rubrics, for those of you who are more of a, pen and paper kind of people, because um, all of us learn differently. And for some of us, having it written out on a piece of paper is like the most important thing. So, play around with that. If you've not tried that before, try it. I find it helpful to have those things in physical form. You're going to introduce yourself, of course, the introduction discussion forum. You're going to have the readings and resources and participate in the discussion beyond just your own post. And then we'll have a knowledge check in Unit 1. We do not have a formal writing assignment in Unit 1. Typically, there will always be a discussion board, and then it usually goes kind of back and forth between formal writing assignments and knowledge checks. Readings and resources is probably the most important folder in the history of folders, because in order to learn, we have to read and watch any supplementary videos, do any activities that will help us get the information. All of that is aimed at helping you successfully complete the work. So make sure that you go through and check out your ebook. You've got the assignments listed in each unit. In this unit, you're going to have an introduction basically to how to read literature. So pages 1 through 7, 13 to 22, 505 to 523, and 972 to 988. Those are just introductory type of information. And then we have an article from the Paris Review with a link. You just click on it. And then I think you're really going to enjoy some of the videos that I have shared in this course. Chinua Achebe, Chinua Achebe is who we're going to learn about in the article. And then Chimamanda uh, Adichie, she is a well known Nigerian writer. And this is her TED Talk. So please check that out. Then we have a link to terminology. One of the things that is important with literature is that when we use a word, we know what it means in that literary context. So there's some terminology there for you as well. Using APA formatting and submitting your assignment, most of you are familiar with it by now, or you wouldn't be in a 200 level class. But we are going to be using APA just like all the other courses at Post, and there is a template available that you can pull up. APA changed fairly recently, so if you had your, for example, English 110 class a while back, make sure that you are using the current information. I'm also going to send out by announcement and email uh, a version of an APA paper in Word that you can just use. You also are going to be submitting assignments uh, through Blackboard. So you've got the links there to learn about that just in case you need a refresher, especially. And then you are ready to go back to the unit and complete your assignments. Each time you'll have, like I said, a discussion board, which will involve both your own post as well as responding to at least two fellow students. And then this week, of course, as I mentioned, we have a quiz or a knowledge check, but you want to make sure that you read your assignment carefully, all the pieces and parts, before you attempt the knowledge check. Um, in the introduction forum and in all the forums, you should always post your own response to the prompt by Wednesdays. And then you have the rest of the week to respond to the two fellow learners, plus to complete your knowledge check. So the work is always due on Sunday night, essentially. So let's take a look quickly at the discussion form or the introduction form for the discussion board. As you probably know, in order to post, you're going to create a thread. You're going to click on the button that says create thread. I would encourage you to use the box, but I also would encourage you to perhaps create your posts in Word so that you can save them, run spell check, all that good stuff, and then copy and paste them rather than uploading an attachment for the discussions. Now, when it comes time to turn in formal papers, you will need to create those in a Word document or save them as a PDF file, and those need to be uploaded to the assignment. All right, so here's what you're doing in the first one. Your first discussion also serves as your introduction forum, so you don't have to do two separate assignments this week, which is kind of nice. Please be advised that all of the learning for Unit 1 needs to be complete in order to complete your initial post for Wednesday. So you need to do the reading fairly quickly. Having learned about multicultural voices in our readings and about the dangers of a single story in Achide's TED Talk, introduce yourself to the rest of the class and your instructor, me, by sharing a little bit about the various cultures that have influenced and formed your voice. Think about your country, state, city, neighborhood of birth, and current life. Consider your racial, ethnic, religious background. Besides you, who lived in your household during your childhood? Who currently resides with you in your household? Are there groups to which you belong that form an integral part of your own identity? Do you have a specific accent that reveals things about you to others when you use your literal voice to speak. Respond with 2 to 3 paragraphs helping us get to know you. As you respond to your fellow learners, point out both areas of similarity and difference in your backgrounds and cultures. Ask questions to stimulate discussion as well. Aim for a well developed paragraph, 5 to 7 sentences, to ensure a good level of detail. And that's always good advice with the responses to others on the discussion. So when I'm ready to create my thread, I will click on it. Introduction to me. Entitle it whatever you want to. And then you can type it directly in here, or if you've already typed it in Word, you can save it there and then just copy and paste it. I do ask that you not use an attachment for the discussions just because it slows everybody down with having to open it up and all that good stuff. There are some editing things. So if you want to make your post more interesting, you can include pictures, you can do all kinds of things directly in the box. So let's say I would like different fonts. I just, there's something about Arial. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's a little annoying. 14 point is the normal font size in the discussion. Maybe I want to make it bigger. Oops, I cannot spell today. Or I can't type. Okay, I do want to keep this on here, so I'm actually going to pause the recording for a minute and then I'll come back and we'll finish this up. Okay, I think I over recorded some, but we'll hopefully fast forward. Um, let me pull the course back up because I wanted to put a photo in. So I wanted to make sure to show you how we do that. Here, you'll notice there's a little plus with a circle around it. This is where you can choose a file to share if you've got photos that are already on your computer that you want to share. Um, trying to think, I think I have one of the puppies. There we go. Let's share a little bit. This is the latest addition to our family of craziness. His name is Indiana Skywalker Jones. He is already much larger than he was in this photo, but he is almost as cute. So, anyway, when you have finished typing your discussion boards, all you have to do is click submit. And then once you do, you would be able to see if anyone else had submitted as well. So when you click on one and read it, in order to reply to that person, of course, you just click reply, and there you go. All right. The other thing I wanted to show you guys during this first session, even though we do not have a formal writing assignment today, this is a current APA template, and I am going to attach this to the announcement so that you can just use it. This is created by one of my favorite librarians at the school that I teach at full time. So you'll notice a lot of it is made up, but it also is very helpful because it actually contains information on how to write papers. So feel free to take a look at it and also to use it as a template down the road. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me this term. I'm very excited about this class. Like I said, I got to help develop it. So this is a real treat for me. So if you have any questions, please reach out. I promise I don't bite. And I'm here to answer those issues and questions that you might have pretty much anytime. Everybody take care, and I will see you next week on Monday.